Really funny thing about getting older is you start to think that really old people aren't that old. I was born in 1963, which seems like...
Back in 1963.
But it doesn't seem that long to me. This is a good race. I mean, it's really like the Super Bowl today. Paris-Roubaix. 2K to go. Who won the World Championships before Van der Poel? He's running out of salutes. Van der Poel wins.
Where were you born?
I grew up in Englewood, New Jersey. Englewood is like a lot of towns in Bergen County, was really sort of separated by the train tracks. It was a nice town. It still is a nice town. It's a nice suburban Jersey town. My parents insisted that everybody play a sport and play an instrument. We all had to play piano. I was not very good at piano. Then it was clarinet, and I hated the clarinet. My mother had a crazy friend named Adele, who had a guitar. She just gave it to me. It became my favorite toy. I told my parents I was going to join the Beatles when I grew up.
Yeah, the Beatles.
All the kids in my neighborhood sit around smoking pot and playing guitar. First band. We had no idea what we were doing, just bashing through stuff. Anywhere where people's parents would tolerate a racket in the living room or the basement or something.
When did it start?
Yeah, I mean, by 13, I was playing in a band. Bands get better. So by the time I was 15, 16, starting to do some gigs.
Real gigs?
Weird bar gig, you know, where they would illegally let a 15-year-old in to play guitar. Good enough to listen to. When I was probably 17, other people started to think I could play okay. And I was playing a gig somewhere, the Lakeside Lounge in the East Village. It's a long time ago. I said, yeah, come down and see me play, and you can decide if you want to hire me. And so she was late. She missed the set. Let me just ask you, are you a good guitar player?
Well, are you?
Great question was, do other people think you're a good guitar player? I ended up transferring to NYU, disenchanting to be in sort of the same kind of environment. And so I
want it to be over and done with.
I moved to Washington Heights, 82, 83. Washington Heights was, they called it the murder capital of the world. That's where you live when you don't have any money. 86, 87, something like that. Doing a little bit of computer programming. Back in those days, computer programming was like sort of the Wild West. Really knew how to use them. Definitely nobody knew how to program them. Knew a little bit about it. You were kind of like a wizard in a way.
A wizard.
And funny enough, I had an idea to have a company, guys on bikes who would show up at your office who were programmers and were on call 24 hours a day to come and rescue you from your PC nightmares. I like the Geek Squad. That was my idea. And at night, I was doing sessions and playing whatever gigs I could. I kept that job all the way through the first couple of years of Blondie, actually, because they were still paying my health insurance. Blondie was playing at Wembley Arena in London while the band was waiting to go on. And my client was having a computer issue, so I was backstage in the production office fixing their computers. Early 20s, trying to make my own bands happen. All the stuff on Bleecker Street, like Kenny's Castaways, The Bitter End. VO 54 had a venue that dumps scattered around the city. We had a steady gig at this Chelsea club, and we're starting to do pretty well. Keeping a band together is like herding cats. Personalities to deal with, drugs.
This is crack.
And it happened again last night.
So that thing kind of fell apart. If you're smart, if you see there's an audition for something, you go to it. I had a friend who had a friend who knew Debbie Harry. The grapevine, I heard that they were looking for a guitar player, and at that point, I guess I was 30. You should go down and audition. And I was like, another audition. I said, okay, let me just do it. Anyway, I go down to Chris Stein's apartment, just had this kind of audition. Really just kind of gave me the once over. They're like, oh, he looks okay, It's like, he's gonna show up on time or something. Then Chris goes, well, I guess we should see if you can play. And I literally played like 5 notes or something. And he goes, oh yeah, you're great. Which I thought was hilarious. Couldn't possibly know if I could play or not from those few seconds. For some crazy reason, they gave me the gig. At that gig in '97, it becomes a whirlwind. Go right into making a record, this tune called Maria. That was an international #1. So I went from kind of, living in Washington Heights and doing any kind of pickup gig I could get to being... I decided to leave in 2010 to just pursue other things. Bumming around New York City, just doing any possible gig you could get. Little film things here and there.
A bit of this and a little bit of that.
A commercial for Nickelodeon, Savings Bank of Long Island. Did a new jingle for them. I've been doing a little bit of work for the Axis Theater Company. Randy Sharp is a talented writer, director, just force of nature maniac. Stayed out of each other's professional lives for various reasons. I think we broke up again in 2007, and then after that we started to really work together.
Bravo.
Anybody out there?
Osprey, that's great.
Ah.
Sound of the tin thing.
I think artistically simpatico.
You'll be in costume, and I'll be in the booth.
Over the years, I became the composer for the theater company and also did all their sound design. So together we've done, I can't even count how many plays.
Different speakers.
It's got bad vibes.
Says, I love everything. And then you get the details.
And what?
Then you get the detail.
This is good, Paul. Yeah, that's great.
Okay. Be louder too, right? Stand by. How's that? Good?
Yes. Still there.
Stand by. Stand by.
Over there.
And it's there.
Randy sponsored her own team and wrangled some great guys on the team.
Riding a bicycle.
The 90s, I'm living in Washington Heights and I'm trying to quit smoking and I'm going out of my mind.
Okay.
Quitting smoking is murder. Peugeot 63 centimeter frame. Started riding that thing across the bridge just to burn off the manic energy that you develop if you're trying to quit smoking. And ended up riding with some guys who said, hey, you're pretty good, you should think about racing. I showed up to a CRCA race. Unlike other aspects of real life, in cycling you know exactly how you're doing because you either do well or you don't do well. Really hooked, of course, you know, cycling is kind of this interesting trap that I think people can fall into because it's also a much better habit than smoking. I've always said cycling is a little bit like being a drug addict.
I need more, I want more.
It sort of has the same effect on your life, you know, constantly exhausted.
So tired.
It's dangerous, you can really get hurt. Everybody I know who's a bike racer has been to the emergency room minimum one time. The feedback of doing something, immediately knowing that you're good at it, just moving your body through space and exerting yourself at sort of a moderate level just really quiets your mind. Like a walking meditation. If you're going to be a racer, you obviously have to train. And a beautiful thing about those miles in that people will tell you just the most intimate details about their lives, and you'll share the most intimate details about your life. Get to know somebody really well, and you develop these friendships that are unbelievable, really. 33 years of bike racing, and training every year for bike racing. Wow. I had this crazy goal, maybe not so crazy, but I wanted to be a Cat 2. Every year I say, that's it, I'm never gonna race again. Time consuming, it's so energy sapping, and it's so disappointing, and it's so gratifying. Figure I'm 60 years old, it's enough already, you know? It's not very flattering, but the ego took over, and I trained really hard, 2023, and I won the state championship race.
When did the pain start?
As you get over 50, I think you just get more efficient, get more emotionally efficient. I mean, the reality is the clock is ticking, and it just feels different as you get older. You don't have time to do everything, so you have to be a little bit more judicious with how you spend your time and who you spend your time with. I think the biggest regret of my life so far is not having kids. First half is trying to be as connected to as few things as possible. And the second half is trying to be, I don't know, more integrated somehow with the world. As I've gotten older, I see that kids are a way to really be connected to the world.
In life.
All I can say is that I try to do good work. You know, I mean, I really don't know how to answer that question. I think my purpose is to try to make the best stuff that I could make. That's the essence of everybody's struggle, I think, is it purposeful? I don't know if it is. Does any of this mean anything? I don't know if there's a good answer to that question. Social media and the internet
Social media is selling a different story.
Making for an illusion of life that gotta be harmful to people. It's just gotta be. I mean, people are losing the ability to be lost in thought or to be bored. Constantly entertaining yourself. That just can't be good for you. Definitely not good for creative people. You don't have time to think and come up with ideas.
We're all bored now.
Immediate gratification. That's not a good thing for anything, I don't think.
What's your plan?
I want to win a national championship. It's insane. Insane idea of trying to win a Masters national championship. I'd like to write a really good musical, but I think I could write a really good one. I want to write better melodies, write less crap. Maybe the biggest thing
I have learned.
mostly to not wait for perfection and wait for perfect moments because they're so unpredictable. Be a little bit more willing to commit something that might work. If you find something where you have a glimmer of an idea or a glimmer of something that you want to, or an idea of something you might want to try, commit to that and see where it takes you. And
What's the next challenge?
it's good to have something in your life that you're really bad at. As you get older, you get addicted to doing things that you're good at.
It's a hobby of mine.
It's a hobby, really.
You know, I'm good at playing guitar, I'm good at cycling. There's something about embracing being shit at something that's good for you. And surfing is, man, I'm terrible.
You surf too?
It can be brutal. You get practically drowned.
It is hard.
I've been at it for 5 years and I don't see any improvement, but I'm really committed. But when you catch a wave, it's an amazing feeling because it's like your past is gone, your present is meaningless. Time's frozen somehow. It's incredible to see the world from that view. I think that the internet has put everybody in a state of mind where they think they're living in a state of constant emergence. Every day there's something that is going to be the end of the world. I think once you've lived through 20 end of the world scenarios, the whole end of the world concept comes into question. The world's always been like that. We're just getting bombarded with
Scare tactics.
alarmist insanity constantly. I don't think anything has changed since the dawn of time. People are deceptive and capable of evil, and you just an incorrect view of the true state of the world.